viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel at BOK Zone. Briefly, I'll be treating with you some likely biology questions in JAMB. So let's go straight to the point. Today I'll be talking about cell biology. That's talking about cell. Understand? Cell biology is is a branch of biology that talks about cell. Understand how they function, their structures and all that. Okay? Let's get to the point. So today we're looking at cell biology. Cell biology. I'll be teaching cell biology. Okay. Now we're going to look at the definition of cell, their structures and what function. That's what cell biology means. Okay. Cell biology simply means talks about the structure. Talks about the structure, function, okay, and processes of the cell. So whenever you hear cell biology, it's talking about the structure, the function, and what the processes of the cell, what happens in a cell. Okay, so let's get to the point. What is cell? Cell. What is cell? You know, some persons ask some questions. They say, does cell have kidney? Does it have liver? Does it have heart? Why is it called a living thing? Now, cell is called living because it participates in what the living processes of what? Of organisms. And I told you what organisms are, right? Things that have life in them. Now, what are the cell processes? We have, you know, there's this normal mnemonics, okay, used then back then in secondary school, primary school. That's Mr. Niger D. But other things have been added to it, okay? Like we have adaptation. Mr. Niger D. Let me just write it up here. Mr. Niger D. Let me pat the body here. These are the characteristics. These are the characteristics of living things. These are the characteristics of living things. That's Mr. Niger. Okay, we have D, then we have A attached. There are other things attached to it. Okay, well, these are the basic things you should know first. Now, what does N stands for? N stands for movement. R stands for what? Respiration. N stands for nutrition. I stands for irritability. G stands for growth. E stands for excretion. R stands for reproduction. D stands for death. A stands for adaptation. Now, these are the characteristics of living things. These are things that explains or that gives a particular thing a place to be called a living thing or what? A non-living thing. Because non-living things are what? Inanimate, you understand? They don't carry out these responsibilities or these characteristics, rather. Movement, respiration, nutrition, irritability, growth, excretion, reproduction, death, and what? Adaptation. As all these characteristics, that is, for a living thing to be called living, or for something or yes, we call living, it must exhibit what? These characteristics: movement, respiration, nutrition, irritability. What's irritability? The ability of an organism to react to its what? Environment. For instance, or it's otherwise called what? Responding to stimuli. That's responding responding to stimuli. Now what it means is this: if you lay your hands on something hot, what do? What happens to you? Immediately your body responds to that what? Action. Now what do you do by that? You take your hands off from what? The fire. For instance, you're about bringing down something that is hot from the fire, and immediately it burns. What do? You withdraw your hands, right? Because you are responding to what? Stimuli. So non-living things does not do that. They don't exhibit that. Do they grow? No. Now, as humans, plants, and other animals, okay, that are multicellular, they what exhibit growth. Okay, so this is common with what? Living things. Death. All living things die. Now, the last thing is what? Adaptation. Living things tend to what? Adapt. And that is why, in fact, you need to adapt to situations, whether good or bad, because you have this ability to adapt. Now, let me just share this with you. When I got to Gombe State, because I served in Gombe State, that was where I did my NYS, you understand? So when I got there, after the orientation camp and everything, when I got to the village where I was posted, that's in Gombe, Biliri local government, okay? So when I got there, at first I was like, I can't help it, I can't eat their food, blah blah blah. I started drinking the water, trying to buy food, or trying to eat what I normally eat here in Port Harcourt. Do you know that for 1 week I was having a running stomach? Then after that 1 week, my body system became used to what? The environment. And after my POP, I went back to Port Harcourt. That same week, the same experience I had in Gombe, I was having a running stomach for also 1 week, because my body system was trying to adapt to the new environment again in which I came in. You understand? So that's how it is. So humans learn to adapt. We have this ability to adapt. So that's why if you're going through a hard time, you're going through difficult times or so, please don't think it's the end of the world, because you have the ability to adapt. Just open up your heart to adapt to that nature, and you see yourself coming out successfully. Okay? Thank you. So these are the characteristics of living thing. Now let's go into cell. Like I said, some persons ask, does cell have kidney? Does it have lungs? So cell does not have kidney. It does not have heart. Okay? It is referred to living because it participates, it carries out what? Life functions, like I said, and processes what? In the organism. Okay? So what is cell? Cell is referred to as the basic, the structural, and functional okay, you see, cell is the basic, the structural, and the functional unit of life. Okay, so we have two major classification of what? Cell. We have two major classifications of cell. Okay, then that will take us to the set theory. Then this is majorly what the topic is, just on cell biology. Please take note. So the classification of cell, okay, we have the prokaryotes, the prokaryotic cell, so what are the prokaryotic cells? Now these cells, they lack what? A nucleus. They lack nucleus and a membrane-bound organelles. Membrane-bound. Okay, an example of such is we have what? The bacteria. Example, we have bacteria. And a membrane-bound organelle. Example, we have humans. Examples, we have what? Humans. We have animals, we have plants. Okay, so eukaryotic cells, they are what they have a nucleus and a membrane bound organelles. Example, humans, animals, and what plants. Then the prokaryotes, they lack nucleus, a membrane bound organelles. Example, bacteria. To proceed to the forms, we have forms of what? Cell. Okay, so let me use this other part of the board. So we have the forms of cell. And we have the unicellular. Okay, and also we have the multicellular. Now, from the word uni means one, right? Single. And we have multicellular. Okay, multi means many. So what are unicellular organisms? Okay, let me use ORGS for organism. That's the short form of organism. That's this word, organism. Organism, let me use the word organism. Okay, that's the ORG. So what are unicellular organisms? These are organisms that have what? Single cell structure. Okay, they are what? Single cell. They have single cell. So this single cell carries out their life processes, okay, such as maybe movement, respiration, and all that. Okay, now examples of such, like I said, we have the bacteria. Bacteria have they are unicellular organisms. Okay, we have bacteria, we have amoeba, we have paramecium. Okay, these are what? Unicellular organisms. We just have single cell, and then this single cell is what is responsible. That particular cell is what carries out the life processes. Like for instance, when I mentioned Mr. Niger D, right, we talked about movement. Like human, you have different cells that take care of all these responsibilities. Okay, we have the cell in the leg that take care of your movement. We have that in the kidney, lungs, and all that. Okay, but it's not the same in this single cell organism. Okay, one particular cell carry out this responsibility, and as well they have what? Some special cells or organs in them that enables them carry out this responsibility or functions per se. Now multicellular, they are what? Multi, they have so many cells that enables them what? Carry out these functions and processes of what? In their cell. For instance, humans, we have different, we are called what? Multicellular what? Organisms. Also we have fungi. Fungi is a multicellular organism. Okay, we have plants, we have animals, and also we humans as well. We are what? Multicellular organisms. Now let's talk about the cell theory. What led to this? Okay, so let's talk about the cell theory. So we're talking about the cell theory. Oh yes, the first theory says that cell is the basic structural and functional units. One says that what? all living organisms are composed of cells. Okay, the third one says cells comes from the reproduction of pre-existing, of pre-existing cells. And also we say that cell contains information. Cells contains information that are inherited and can be transferred. Okay, so the first one says cell is a basic structural and functional. That cell is a basic structural and functional unit of life. And also he said all living organisms are composed of cells. Please take note of this. All living organisms are composed of cells. All living organisms are composed of what? Cell, whether prokaryotic or what? Eukaryotic. Take notes, okay? Now, cells comes from pre-existing cells. That's the reproduction of pre-existing cells. Now, what it meant is this. I don't know. Can I just use an explanation? You know, when you start thinking about who God is, like, when was he created? You know, sometimes when you start thinking, you start linking, you know, like, you understand? Or let me use another word. For instance, maybe you are dividing you're dividing let's say 7. You want to divide 7 by 2, okay? 7 by 2. You know, 2 divided 7 to give us what? 3. Remainder 1. So 3 times 2 is what? 6. You would subtract, you have 1. You add 0. Okay, now I'm looking for something much more. I use 3. Okay, let me use 3. Okay, no, let me just leave it. Okay, so it says cells comes from the reproduction of pre-existing cells. That's to say, cells comes from pre-existing cells. That's to say, it keeps, as in, for cells to be formed, other cells are already there. Okay, for it to be formed, just like that, pre-existing. I don't have to. Let me say. Can I say infinite? Like it keeps going like that, just like that and like that. You understand? So the other one says cell contains information that are inherited and can be transferred. We're going to look at plant cell and animal cell. Okay, we're going to look at plant cell and animal cell. There are differences. Okay, so the difference now majorly, let me just give a sketch. Let me come to a place where I can. Okay. Okay, so this is a typical diagram of what? A plant cell. Okay, so let me draw for that of animal. Okay, now this diagram is a typical what? Diagram of a plant cell and animal cell from a light microscope. Please take note. From a light microscope, okay? A light microscope. That's what was used to view this structure you're seeing now. A light microscope, okay? Now the plant cell just have an animal cell have what? Just slight differences. Okay? Now, the animal cell the plant cell has what? A cell wall. It has a cell wall. It has a cell wall. Plant cell has what? The cell wall. Okay. Okay. It has a cell wall. Okay. And also it has the mitochondria. It has the mitochondria. It has the cell membrane. It has the vacuole. It has the chloroplast. It has the nucleus. Okay, this is the nucleus. These are the basic structure. What I say, organism of what the plant cell. It also has the cytoplasms. Okay, now this is the animal cell. It has what? The nucleus. It has the vacuole. It has the cell membrane. Okay. It has the vacuole. It has the glycogen. Okay. It has also the cytoplasms. So these are the major components of the plant cell. Okay, so now after this we'll be going into the cell organelles. This is where the major cell biology comes into play. Okay, this is a typical diagram of a plant cell, an animal cell with the use of what? A light microscope. Please take note. Now after this, now we'll be going into what? Cell organelles majorly. Okay, so let's proceed. Cell organelles. Okay, so what are cell organelles? Cell organelles are referred to as the special organs of the cell. It can be called the special organs of the cell, or they also called the special special organs found in the cell that enables the cell to carry out what? Its functions and what? Processes for growth, metabolism, and otherwise. Do you understand? So the cell organelles includes, I know the first one we talk about is what? We talk about the ribosome. Okay, we talk about the nucleus. We talk about the cell wall. We talk about the cell membrane, or the plasma membrane, otherwise, anyone. Talk about the plasma membrane. We'll talk about the chloroplast. We'll talk about the lysosomes. We'll talk about the endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, we talk about the centrioles. We talk about the vacuole. Okay, we talk about the Golgi body or Golgi apparatus. Please take note. Okay, apparatus. Have I written the mitochondria? No. Then we have the mitochondria. look at this organelles, what they do, and their functions. Okay, this is where JAMB questions come into play. Do you understand? So the first one is what? The ribosome. The ribosome is referred to what as the site of protein synthesis. It is a site. It is a site for protein synthesis. Okay? For protein synthesis. So at this place, at the ribosome, what protein is being what synthesized, made. Okay? So at the ribosome, protein is what synthesized. Now the nucleus does what? It controls the what activities of the cell. It controls the activities of the cell. Okay, and also the nucleus contains what? The chromosome in which what the gene is found in. Please take note. This is how it works. Okay, this is the nucleus. So in the nucleus is contained what? The chromosome. And inside the chromosome is contained what? The gene. So this is how it works. This is the nucleus. This is the chromosome. And this is what? The gene. So maybe in our next video we're going to talk about cell division. Okay, so you understand the place of what? The chromosome and gene. Do you understand? Okay, let's proceed there. So the nucleus controls the activities of the cell, and also it is where the what hereditary what substance is found in. It contains also what? The DNA. Okay, the oxoribonucleic acid. Okay, it houses it. That's DNA. So the nucleus controls the what? Activities of the cell. Okay. Now the cell wall itself, it gives what? The cell the shape and what? Strength or protection. Okay. Like for instance, in humans we have the skeleton, right? The skeleton gives us that rigidity, it gives us the what? The balance, the framework. That is what the cell wall does. And this cell wall is found in what? In plants. Please take note. You know when I talked about the plant cell and animal cell, I mentioned something. If you look very well, you see that the animal cell does not have a cell wall. Please take note. So this cell wall is found in plants, and it gives them support, okay, to give them that framework, okay, and that rigidity. Now the plasma membrane, what does it do? This plasma membrane is selective. It is selective, okay. That's to say, it allows some substances to go through what? The cell. Okay, so what it does is to allow some substances to go what? In and out of the cell. Okay, thank you. So the chloroplast is found also in what? In plant cell, or in plants rather, because this is the site of what? Photosynthesis. The site of photosynthesis. This is the site of photosynthesis. Okay, so this is where the process of photosynthesis takes place. Now the lysosome, what does the lysosome do or does? It contains what? Digestive enzymes. It contains digestive enzymes that helps to break what? Substances. That helps to break down substances. You know, when you see enzymes, what should come to your mindset is what? Breakdown. Okay, they help to break down. Okay, so now the endoplasmic reticulum is made up of the what? The rough ER and what? The smooth ER. Now what does the smooth ER do? It what? It transports what? Lipids. It transports lipid and steroids, okay, within the cell. While the rough ER, on it is found what? Ribosomes, ER. Okay. Now the centrose is involved It is involved in cell division. So the centrioles is what? Involved in cell division. Now what are the vacuoles? What do? They are majorly for what? Storage. Okay, the vacuoles are what? Majorly for storage. It can be found in plant and animal cell. Okay, now we have the Golgi apparatus or the Golgi body. Now what does this Golgi apparatus or Golgi body do? What it does is this: it packages and sorts what? Substances to be transported in the cell. So it packages and transports what? Substances in the cell. Now the mitochondria, what is the mitochondria? The mitochondria is referred to as what? The powerhouse of the cell, because what? Cellular respiration takes place there, and when this cellular respiration takes place, energy is being what? Produced, and that energy is called what? The ATP. We have the what? The cytoplasms. Okay, so this cytoplasm is a jelly-like. What? Jelly-like structure. Okay, in which organic and inorganic substances are dissolved in. Okay, so all these cell organelles plays what? Different functions in the cell. So the cell and the organelles make up what? The cell organelles. So these things now put together now makes what? The life process is what? To be easier. Like I said, we have classification of what? Cells. We have the forms of cells. So with all these, the cell functions what? Properly. Okay, so we're going to stop here for today, and I'm going to leave some multiple choice questions for you just to try your ability. We're going to attempt some. Okay, so let's go to the questions. So here are some questions from the topic I treated, that's on cell biology. The first question says, what is the main function of the nucleus in a cell? A. Protein synthesis. B. Waste removal. C. Energy production. D. Controlling cell activity. So from what I taught, the answer is what? Controlling cell activities. Okay. Second question says, which of the following organism is unicellular? A. Dog. B. Amoeba. C. Plant. D. Frog. From what I taught as well, amoeba is the answer. Amoeba is what? A unicellular organism. We have amoeba, bacteria, and what? Paramecium. Okay, etc. The third question says, which structure controls the movement of substances in and out of the cell? A. The mitochondria. B. Cell membrane. C. Cytoplasm. D. Endoplasmic reticulum. So the answer is what? The cell membrane. Okay, I was about leaving a question for you to try. Okay, which organelle is responsible for energy production in a eukaryotic cell? A. The nucleus. B. Ribosome. C. Mitochondria. D. Golgi apparatus. Okay, leave the answer in the comment section, and please do well to share and subscribe to my channel. If you found value rather in this video, do well to subscribe, do well to share, and also please leave your answer in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.